यशोदानन्दन जय व्रजजनरञ्जन जय यशोदा नन्दन जय व्रजजनरञ्जन जय यमुनातिरावनचारि जय कुंज विहारी जय यमुनातिरावनचारि जय कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमया जय सुदर्शन जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी बेंगलोरेश्वर जय गौरांगी जय वामन देव वामन देव वामन देव जय वामन देव जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव लक्ष्मी नरसिंह जय अनंत देव जय भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज भक्त शिरोमणि प्रहलाद महाराज जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गिरि गोवर्धन जय गौरनिताय 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 जय गौरनिताय जय 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 प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय श्री गुरुदेव हरि हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल मित्र बोल हरि बोल जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमद His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada की जय इस्कॉन बीबीटी संस्थापकाचार्य जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा माई सुदर्शन महाराज की जय श्री श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिम्हा स्वामी भगवान प्रहलाद महाराज की जय अनंत देव की जय श्री श्री गौर निताय की जय पंच तत्व तुलसी महारानी षड गोस्वामी गुरु परंपरा शील प्रभुपाद की जय शील गुरुदेव की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय निताय गौर सितनाथ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल कलयुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन महायज्ञ की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक्स डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की जय all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Sitanat Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यां नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So welcome you all in the morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam, and today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam's Canto 4th, Chapter 20th, entitled Lord Vishnu's Appearance in the Sacrificial Arena of Maharaj Prithu. And in that chapter we are going to discuss text number 33. So let me share my screen. So I hope this is visible to all of you. So wherever you are, you can recite it. त्वं तत्त्वं कुरु मयादिष्टम् अप्रमत्तः प्रजापते मदादेशकरो लोकः सर्वत्राप्नोति शोभनम् तत्त्वं कुरु मयादिष्टम् अप्रमत्तः प्रजापते मदादेशकरो लोकः सर्वत्राप्नोति शोभनम् तत्त्वं कुरु मयादेष्टम् अप्रमत्तः प्रजापते मदादेशकरो लोकः सर्वत्राप्नोति शोभनम्. So synonyms, translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Synonyms: Tat, Tat, therefore, Tvam, you, Guru, do, Maya, by me, Adishtam, what is ordered, Apramattaha, without being misguided, Prajapate, O master of the citizens, Mat, of me, Adeshakaraha, who executes the order, Lokaha, any person, Sarvatra, everywhere, Apnoti, achieves Shobhanam, all good fortune. Translation: My dear King, O protector of the citizens, henceforward be very careful to execute my orders and not misled by anything. Anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. Purport: The sum and substance of religious life is to execute the orders of Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one who does so is perfectly religious. In Bhagavad Gita 18.65, the Supreme Lord Krishna says, Man mana bhava mad bhaktaha. Just think of me always and become my devotee. Furthermore, the Lord says, Sarva dharma parityaja mam ekam sharanam vraja. Give up all kinds of material engagement and simply surrender unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18.66. This is primary principle of religion. Anyone who directly executes such an order from the personality of Godhead is actually a religious person. Others are described as pretenders, for there are many activities going on throughout the world in the name of religion which are not actually religious. For one who executes the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, there is only good fortune throughout the world. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाखया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामिने गौर्तसे नमः पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते जयतां सुरतपंगोर मम मंदमतेर्गति मतः सरस्वपादाम्बुजो श्रीराधा मदनमोहनो दिव्याद बृंदरन्या कल्पद्रुमादो श्रीमद्रत्नाकरा सिंहासनस्थो श्रीमद्राधा शीलगोविन्ददेवो प्रेष्ठालिभिः सेव्या मनुस्मरामि श्रीमनरासरसारम्भि वांसी वटतट स्थितः कर्शनवेणु स्वनरगोपी गोपीनाथ श्रीस्तु नः तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि श्री गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna. So once again, welcome you all in the morning session of Srimad Bhagavatam on behalf of ISKCON Seshatripuram. And today, as we discussed, we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam's fourth canto, chapter 20th, entitled Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. And under that chapter, we are going to discuss text number 33. So once again, I'm going to read the translation. My dear King, O protector of the citizens, henceforward be very careful to execute my orders and not be misled by anything. Anyone who lives in that way, simply carries out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. So this is the direct instruction coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead to Maharaj Prithu, and he's telling him that you should execute my orders and do not get misled by anything. And again, Lord is affirming here that anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. So we are just going to discuss, give some 4 or 5 minutes to recap the context and whatever is being discussed in the earlier verses. So, to give the context to those devotees who haven't joined or not joining this session regularly, that this is a discussion between Maitreya Rishi and Vidurji, and the discussion is here is about appearance, Lord Vishnu's appearance in the sacrificial arena of Maharaj Prithu. And we know that how Maharaj Prithu appeared in this world, right? By churning the body of Vena, right? And from that, Maharaj Prithu born, and from that instant onward, that event onwards, we see that how Maharaj Prithu found that the citizens are deeply in grave condition, and they are not in a good condition at all. They are emaciated, they are not getting the food properly, and ultimately he found that this is because the earth is not producing the grains properly. So he found that the earth is not producing grains properly because of the populace being irreligious, right? And then onwards, we know that how Maharaj Prathu, became angry on Mother Earth, and then Mother Earth actually proposed Maharaj Prathu that you should actually, go for a sacrifice or maybe a yajna basically, and then you can actually get in abundance from me, because until and unless the people are not religious and not righteous, they are not going to get the proper yield from me. And we know that how Maharaj Prathu become satisfied, and then actually he performed and the sacrifices. And then in this particular chapter, and the previous to that chapter, we understood that Maharaj Prathu performed around 99 sacrifices, and he was about to perform the 100th sacrifice, right? So it is said that once you complete this, then you will get all the name, fame, and what to speak of, the earth is going to produce abundance, right? So, on that note, when Maharaj Prithu was about to begin this 100th, the horse sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yagya, at that time, King Indra becomes jealous, right? Out of envy, he stole the sacrificial horse. And we know that, how Maharaj Prithu became angry, and it is being explained in earlier verses as well in the earlier chapter as well, that how Lord actually, himself appeared in the sacrificial arena. So it's very important from our perspective to understand that it is not an ordinary event when Lord is actually appearing in the sacrificial arena, right? So daily we perform so many, aratikas and so many upcharas we are, doing aratika. But how many times we, see, or even it is said that, in the Satyuga, when rishis and many great sages used to perform sacrifices, yagyas, then the demigods will personally appear in the in the yagya. Because nowadays, due to the contamination, it's very difficult for people in general to have darshan of demigods, even what to speak of supreme personality of Godhead, Lord himself. So it is very important from our perspective to understand that how Lord actually appeared in the sacrificial arena, and then actually Lord himself pacify Maharaj Prithu and tell him not to get agitated. And then he speaks of that how this body is, is not eternal, right? It is temporary, and whatever is associated with the temporariness of body is again temporary. So one should not lament for it, and at the same time one should not become greedy about it, and one should not, aim about the temporariness of the objects in this material world. So one should not aim for objects which are temporary in this material world, right? And now, previous to this verse, right? So, previous to this verse, Lord was again, giving response to prayers of Maharaj Prithu, right? And he is telling him that, that you should continue to protect the citizens, right, under the authorities. And then on the later verses, we saw that how uh, Maharaj Prithu, prayer gave prayers to Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? And then Lord actually tells Maharaj Prithu that, my dear king, you should always be engaged in my devotional service. And this is the blessing that Lord is giving to uh, Maharaj Prithu. And then Lord is again telling him that only by such purity of purpose, as you yourself were very intelligently expressed, one can cross over the insurmountable illusory energy of Maya. So here in the previous verse, Lord actually, emphasize upon the importance of devotional service, or you can say in another words that by only, being perfect in devotional service, one can cross over the illusory energy of Maya. And this, in this verse that we are discussing, is that where Lord is telling that you should carefully execute my orders and not to be misled by anything. And Lord is emphasizing that anyone who lives in that way, simply carrying out my orders faithfully, will always find good fortune all over the world. So, this is very important from our perspective, that how we can actually, sometimes it happens that we feel that, we are not getting direct orders from the spiritual masters, right? Sometimes the spiritual master is far away and we are not able to have, communication with him. then sometimes we think that how we are going to execute his orders, because we are not getting any direct orders, right? Here if you see, Lord is directly ordering Maharaj Prithu. But in our case, if you see, we are not actually getting direct orders from Lord. What to speak of Lord Himself? We are not even getting direct orders from the spiritual master. Sometimes. So it is very important from our perspective to understand that if we just follow the orders given by spiritual master, because one thing we need to understand, that spiritual master is direct representative of Supreme Lord Himself. So he is none other than Lord Himself. But if we just follow the orders carefully, we can cross over the material world and we can get all fortune of this world, as well as Lord is stating to Maharaj Prathu here. So one, we get initiation, right? So it so happened that once Maharaj was invited in the initiation ceremony, and one devotee was there actually, and he was administrating the whole affair of the initiation. And he actually asked the devotees who are going to be initiated that, you know after initiation, what is after initiation, actually he asked to all the devotees who got initiated that how you are feeling now, what is your realization, right? So then the devotees who got initiated, one of them actually told to the that administrative devotee that what I'm feeling is that I'm feeling that I'm surrendered to the my Guru Maharaj. So he said, then this is not the correct realization, because when we get initiation, before that only we should get surrendered to the spiritual master. It's not that after initiation we surrender to the spiritual master. So from that incident, and from the people in general, what they think about initiation is that, once we get initiation, then everything is done, right? And we are actually surrendered now completely. It's not like that, because we, within our heart, the depth of our heart knows that the surrendered soul's qualities are missing in ourselves, right? And if we are artificially exhibiting the qualities of surrender soul, then it's not going to work for us. Then what is important here? The important here is that we follow the instructions properly. Then only we can get some amount of progress on the spiritual path or in the path of surrender. So until unless we follow the instructions properly given by Guru Maharaj, who is direct representative of Supreme Personality of Godhead, we cannot progress in spiritual realm. And this is what we need to take it from this verse as well, that Lord is clearly, if you see the clarity of the statement here, that henceforward be very careful to execute my orders and not misled by anything. This is very important, that when we execute any order, then there are two qualities that we should have. One is that we should be very careful, and the other one is that we shouldn't get distracted by anything, we shouldn't get misled by anything. So if we can do these two things properly, being careful and being uh, focused, and second is that we shouldn't get distracted or misled by anything, because on the path of devotional service we encounter so many hurdles, right? And so many distractions as well, right? Hurdles are something comes in many forms, and so as the distractions comes in many form, right? And as a devotee we should have that intelligence, and if we do not have that intelligence, we should pray to the Lord for that intelligence, that we can identify those hurdles or distractions. And that's why Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 10.10, 10 chapter 10th verse, that Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purukam dadami buddhi yogam tam ye namam upayantite. So one who continuously, Tesham satata yuktanam, right? If they do that, right, with all, sincerity in their heart, then, and that again very continuously, right? It's not that one day you are doing it and other day you are missing it, right? So that's something which is not going to work. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam, and that should be done with all love and reverence. If we are not doing that, then definitely we are not going to get the result as we desire, right? So to get the expected result, we should actually constantly serve the Lord with all love. So dadami buddhi yogam tam yen mam payantite. So to those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, Lord says that I give them that understanding, that intelligence by which they can come to me. Mam upayantite. They can come to me. And what is that intelligence? Is that they can understand now, right? I give that understanding. This is what Lord says. So that comes only when we do it satat yuktanam, always engaged, right? And bhajatam, rendering devotional service. If we do this with all love, right? In all ecstasy, priti purvakam, in loving ecstasy, if you do that, then Lord says that I give them bhakti yoga, or sorry, buddhi yoga. Yani, means real intelligence. So the real intelligence is what? Real intelligence is not to earn, 1,000 crores, right? The real intelligence is to understand that I am the, eternal servant of the Lord, right? And that actually how we do it, by practically doing it. When we practically serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead with loving ecstasy, right? Priti Purvakam, then actually Lord imparts that intelligence by which we can understand. That understanding is this what Lord gives us when we do this process with all love, right? So this is very important from the perspective of the sadhakas, that they be ready for to clarify their intelligence, but they themselves cannot actually cleanse the intelligence. Lord's representatives, right, that comes in the form of guru, spiritual master, they actually help us in achieving that. So from our perspective, we need to put our efforts with all love and reverence. When we do that, then Lord imparts us the intelligence, and then by using that intelligence we can identify the distractions, and we can, kick out all the hurdles in our path of spiritual progress. So this is very important from our perspective, that we actually, as a devotee, as a sadhak, we give proper importance to the instructions, right? So sometimes people ask that, we want to serve you. Many a times we also says to any devotee, we meet, or any person for that matter whom we love, that we want to serve you. How I can serve you, right? So they will tell you that, I want to serve, I want this and that and whatnot, right? And if we are not doing that, and if we are actually working on the basis of our own whims and ideas, then we are not actually executing the orders, and we are not actually serving that devotee or person for that matter, right? So it so happened that once, one father was not feeling well, right? He was having pain in his leg, and then he called out all his four sons that please come and help me out, and please massage my leg so that I can get rest, relief from this pain. So all the four sons came, and he told them that, I'm having pain in my left leg, right? And please massage it properly so that I can get relief from this pain. So one son actually hold the left leg, another one actually right leg, and one son hold the right arm, and other one the left hand. So this is how they were started, massaging the body of their father. But father demand was to massage only left leg, but all of them were engaged in serving the whole body, right? But the instruction was to massage the left leg, correct? So they should have waited for their turn, and one by one they could have served the father in a proper way. But instead of that, they all of them actually jumped on the body of their father and they started massaging the body rather than the left leg where he was having the pain. So, in that way, we can see that they are not serving the Father in proper consciousness from the external view. So, whomsoever is passing by, if they see that the sons are massaging their father's body, then they will see, they will glorify all the sons. That's how look at them. They are so glorious. They are actually serving their father, right? But from the external view it looks like that, but from internal view, right, from if you ask the father himself that how he is feeling, then he will say that this is a waste, total waste. The only one son who is serving me is the son who is actually massaging my left feet, not all others, right? So following the instructions means following it in the correct consciousness, and as per the instruction we should behave. If we are not behaving as per the instructions and we are working on the basis of our own whims and ideas, then we are not actually serving. We are actually it is actually a disservice to the father. All other three sons who are not actually following the orders of their father properly, they are giving a disservice to their father. Rather than they are serving the father, they are actually causing him trouble, right? So this is that what we can learn from this is that we need to follow the orders in the proper consciousness and as it is, rather than we dilute the order and we follow the order on the basis of our own whims and ideas, right? So this is what Prabhupada is, Lord is saying here, that very carefully execute my orders and not misled by anything, right? So there are so many distractions, confusions, doubts will come in the way to our service, right? So then how we should actually dissolve those doubts, how we can resolve those doubts is by asking the person who has given the orders, right? Rather than asking each and everyone who's present there. We should ask directly to that person and ask him that what actually serves you best, right? And in that consciousness, in the consciousness of serving that person, if we ask him clearly, because sometimes it may happen that we get certain instructions from our superiors, right? And we get a different connotation, a different meaning of that order, and we follow it as per our own whims. Rather than doing so, if we have any kind of doubt, then we should directly go to the authority and ask him that, this is what I'm feeling, and is this the correct way of serving? Then obviously, because he is the person who is giving the order, then he will let you know that what it is and how it should be performed, right? So similarly, if Lord is telling something, because this is what Prabhupada told in many of his lectures, that those persons are rascals, right? They are actually misinterpreting Bhagavad Gita as per their own whims and ideas, right? Rather than talking to the authority, because since they do not have any authority, right, because they do not come in any disciplic succession, so they do not have any guru, they do not have any spiritual master, and that's the reason that they are actually interpreting Bhagavad Gita as per their own whims and ideas, and that's the reason they are not correctly doing justice to the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, because the spirit of Bhagavad Gita can only be understood by pure devotees of the Lord, right? And that's the reason that Prabhupada used to call them rascals, because they are not, because Lord tells in Bhagavad Gita that whomsoever is actually spreading my message is very dear to me, right?
So they understand it like, since we are actually spreading the message of Lord, then we are also very dear to the Lord. But they aren't, right? Prabhupada is calling them as rascals because they are not following the orders of Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna, in the proper consciousness. They are actually working on the basis of their own whims and ideas. They are giving commentaries on the basis of their own whims and ideas, and that's not correct, right? They are not carefully executing the orders of the Lord. They are not spreading Lord's message in proper consciousness and in careful attitude, with careful attitude. They are not doing it, right? And they are misled by their own whims and ideas. So that's why if you see here, Lord is giving clear instructions to Maharaj Prithu, which are very important from our perspective as well, that we should be very careful in executing the orders and not get misled by anything. So this misleading can be done by anyone. A person can come and mislead you, right? And most of the times we are getting misled by our own thoughts, right? And how to purify thoughts, right? So one way of purifying thought is to have a proper association, right? So when we have proper association, then in that good association, we actually prepare the fertile ground for thoughts to pop up from them, right? So the one way is doing having good association. Another way is, if you do not have any personal association in that in that example, what we can do in that situation, what we can do is that we should associate with book Bhagavatam, right? We can read Srimad Bhagavad Gita, we can read Srimad Bhagavatam, we can read Chaitanya Charitamrita, and there are so many spiritual texts are available which we can associate with, and we can purify our thought. And Lord, as Prabhupada is explaining in the further in this purport, that Lord says in 18.65 that man mana bhava mad bhakto. Lord is giving clear instructions, right? That just think of me, always become my devotee. And as Prabhupada says that furthermore the Lord says sarva dharman prityaja mamekam sharanam praja. So we have we are bound to so many religious activities as our own whims and ideas, right? We have our own religions, right? So religions means from our perspective is that dharma tu sakshat bhagavad pranitam, means whatever is told by Lord is religion for us, right? It's not that we as a group is come together and we actually declare that this is religion. No, the religion is whatever is told by Lord. And what is told by Lord? That man mana bhavamad bhakta, right? Become my devotee. Think of me always, become my devotee. This is what Lord is instructing every one of us. And Lord is again telling in 18.66 that sarva dharman prityaja mamekam sharanam braja aham tam sarvapapebhyo mokshashyami ma shucha. Right? So Lord is directing at the same time he is giving the guarantee as well, right? Aham tam sarpapebhyo mokshashyami ma sucha. So who can give that guarantee and protection at the same time? The only Lord can do that. Otherwise, no living entity is having that capability of giving instruction at the same time providing protection as well from all kind of miseries, right? So only Lord can do that, right? And further, Prabhupada says that anyone who directly executes such an order from the personality of Godhead is actually a religious person. So nowadays we see that so many religious people are there, right? But they do not accept Lord as Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they do not actually follow the orders of the Lord, right? They actually works on their own whims and ideas, and that's why they are not religious, because Prabhupada is clearly stating here the definition of what is to be what actually required to be a religious person. So anyone who is not executing or not actually following the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is not a religious person. So the religious person is the one who follows the order. The following orders means what? Following orders means what Lord Himself is telling here, that carefully execute my orders. Very carefully, right? Henceforward to be very careful to execute my orders. So being careful means that we follow it in the same spirit and at the same time as it is, not deviating, not diluting, and not mixing it with anything else. And then in that true sense of term, we are going to follow the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So religion is not that what we think. Religion is what Lord is actually instructing, right? So what we think is not religion. What Lord is saying is the religion. So dharma tu sakshat bhagavad parinitam. So this is very important that we understand this, because there nowadays so many religions are getting popped up. Someone some other day, a new religion will come up, and people will start following it without considering that from where it is coming from, what is the source. If the source is not correct, then obviously the people will get misled, and ultimately they will go to the hell. And Prabhupada is again telling further in this purport that others are described as pretenders, for there are many activities going on throughout the world in the name of religion which are not actually religious, right? So someone may ask that what is the purpose of the religion, right? So we should ask them that if you are saying that this is my religion, then what is the purpose of the religion, right? So Prabhupada and our acharyas tells us that religion is one which actually connects us with the Supreme Lord, which actually help us to identify our identity, because basically our true identity. One help us to identify our true relationship or true nature, right? That is religion. The religion which helps us loving God, connecting with the Lord, understanding the Lord, and identify our true self. That is religion. So if someone calling particular practice as religion, and if they are not helping a person to identify his true self, and at the same time help him to identify who Lord is and what is the relationship with the Lord. If these things are missing in a religion, then that is not a religion. And as Prabhupada says, that they are just pretenders. And further, Prabhupada says that for one who executes the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead, however, there is only good fortune throughout the world. So, or everywhere if you go, right, everyone in this world is actually looking for good fortune, right? But they do not know that how this good fortune will arrive in their lives, right? They do so many activities. They do all kind of karma kanda. They go, they visit the tirthas, they go to the dham, right? But one point that they miss out is following the orders of the spiritual master. If they miss out this very important aspect of following the orders and understanding the orders first of all, right? So majority of the populace in this world are unaware of that what is told by the Lord, right? And they are just doing it without understanding, and they are visiting holy dhams and tirthas, but not having a minute idea about what is told by the Lord, right? And that's the reason that they do all kind of activities, but they do not get the good fortune, right? And sometimes mistakenly we understand that the good fortune is one when we get all the comforts of the life. We have money, fame, name, and everything else, right? Then it is good fortune. No, it is not good fortune. Yeah, because it is again going to entangle you more in this world, right? The good fortune is one when we get association with the pure devotees of the Lord. When we get a chance to hear Hari Katha, then this is a good fortune. And others, whatever is being told, right? Money, fame, name are all just byproduct of the main product, that is Krishna Prema, right? So the good fortune is that once when we get the association of the pure devotees of the Lord. So with that, I will conclude. If you have any question, then you may ask.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Danda Pranam Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Bhagavatam Pujya, Dhanavad Pranam.
Wonderful class, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot. Prabhuji, of course, we have to follow the orders of Krishna and Guru. So sometimes a question arises in the mind that there are many orders and many things told by Guru and many, when Krishna says so many things. So basically, if you can summarize it, like, of course, Manamana Bhakta, what we said, and it's right, but what is the thing that the core that one should keep in the mind that yes, if we do this, if we this, we follow this order, that is sufficient. Can you please help me out?
Okay. Yeah, I understood your point. Your question is that there are so many orders given by the Lord and so as by the spiritual master. So which one is the one which we, follow as our life and soul, right? Correct, Prabhu?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yes, yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, as I told when in the classes as well, that, rather than assuming, right, from our own side, that this may be the important order, Lord may have told so many things to us, and maybe the spiritual master has given us so many orders, right? So, rather than assuming, because we cannot ask the Lord, right? But we need to understand that whatever is being told by Lord is an order for us, right? Whatever is being told to Arjuna is an order for us as well, right? But there are so many instructions given. But ultimately, if you see, the essence of all the instruction is surrender. The Sharanagati is the essence of all the instructions. If you see, whatever it may be, you can take any verse, you can take any instruction of the Lord. The ultimate aim is to bring us to the platform of surrendering to the Lord, right? So all the instructions are important, and all the instructions are ultimately taking us to the, surrendering ourselves to the Lord. So and there is no hierarchy in that, okay? And when it comes to the spiritual master, and he may have given us so many orders, right? He may given us, I'm just giving an example here. It may be very crude, but maybe for our understanding purpose, it can be stated here that the spiritual master is telling us go and distribute books, right? And the spiritual master is telling us fetch me some water, right? So which one we should follow the first? We know that we should fetch the water first and quench the thirst of a spiritual master of or any one for that matter, right? So that intelligence is given to every one of us, that to how to identify which order we should execute first and which order we should execute afterwards, or the what is the priority. So the priority, because that again we have that intelligence to identify that. But Lord is he in one verse he is saying tesham satatyuktanam bhajtam priti purukam badadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upyadite, right? And one place he is saying that sarv dharman parityaja. Another verse he is saying man manamad bhakto, right? So which one we should take as our life and soul? And if you ask me, then we should take all the orders as life and soul, whether he is a spiritual master or Lord himself. Because ultimately all the aim of all the instructions, all the orders given by Lord or the spiritual master is to bring us to the platform of surrender, right? So all of them are actually helping us in coming to that platform. So there is no hierarchy and there is no priority in that. But yes, I mean, in general, If there is something which is actually we are assuming on our own part, then it's better that we should ask someone who is already on that platform, like our spiritual master and the pure devotees of the Lord. So they will help us out in understanding. And Lord Himself is saying that Tesham Satat Yuktanam Bhajatam Priti Purukam Dadami Buddhi Yogam. So Lord is going to give us that understanding and intelligence. So if we are sincere, then definitely we are going to get that intelligence from the Lord, and then we will be able to identify the instructions in the true sense of the term and the spirit as well, right? Because it is said that assuming means, if you see the spelling of assume is ASSUME, right? It makes as of you and me, if I just assume, right? So we shouldn't assume for sure. We should ask, the spiritual master or the authority who has given the order if we are having little bit doubt or confusion. But in essence, right, in core, all the instructions are given us to bring us to the platform of surrender.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji. And basically, surrender also means, what I understand is follow the orders. Well, surrender means whatever the order has been given, we should follow. Isn't it, Prabhu?
Correct, correct. You are very
Mm.
right, Prabhuji.
Mm.
Surrender means to follow, and follow means to
Mm.
surrender.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thanks a lot, Prabhuji. Thanks for
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
talk. Hare Krishna,
Thank
Dandapranam.
you.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. अमर पुराण श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताई गौर सितानाथ प्रेमानंदे।